bit hot. Get some fresh air. Whoa. Where do I start? The closer people get, the more I push them away. It's like I want to test. It's like I can't. It's like I can't trust. No matter how hard I want to trust. It's like my body won't allow me to trust. It's almost like if I don't have control, I can't trust. Because when Mum had control, she abused it. So now it's like the only way I won't get abused is if I have control. Except I did. I abused myself. Because at least it was one way of me having control. I still remember when I was first, like when it was the first time, but one of the times I strongly considered killing myself. Still in two minds. So I mean, oscillating back and forth, I guess, between fear and a wish to end it or a wish to escape. I remember I got as far as taking 3 paracetamol, which is not good, obviously, and I took it with vodka, and it was when I was staying in Stamford Hill at a family relative's place, actually a sexual abuser. I never let him hypnotise me though. Every time he tried, but I never let him. Like the final time he tried, I let him think he did hypnotise me. And they arrested him. And they looked for his house. And they found tapes of men naked. They found everything. Men who I suppose were under hypnosis may have had their lives totally destroyed. He also applied to build a nursery. wanted was for my mum to stop saying to me, go and talk to him. Every time she didn't want to talk to me when I was upset, she said, go and talk to him. So I finally exposed him for what he was. And then when he died, of a heart attack, in a hotel room, I think, at a wedding, ironically. Is that ironic? Died at a wedding, heart attack, hotel room. While the case was, while it was still being investigated, that was convenient for him. But he did everyone a favour, and he did me a favour. Meant I didn't need to kill him. It had been done already. You see, no one gets away with anything. No one. Chickens always come home to roost. No, the family members were trying to phone up, fish for information. It didn't change what happened. It just meant it couldn't happen again. And that was the most important thing. To anyone. Got £3,000 compensation. £3,000 is nothing for the damage he did. Nothing. He died a multi-millionaire. Estimated estate. I bought a copy of his will, I remember. Estimated value of his estate was over 4 million. And the family made sure that it all went to them. £3,000 didn't even come from him. It came from CICA or some bullshit. The £3,000. Ironically, I gave it to my mother. The one who sent me to live in one of his properties. When I was, you know what, it was in August 2009, she sent me to live in one of his properties. Just around the time of my birthday. What a lovely birthday present. Just maybe turned about 21. She said, you gotta live in one of his properties. It was like a dirty, disgusting, fucking bed set, some shit. And like a studio. It was disgusting. Had a window that didn't shut on a main road in Stamford Hill. First time I went there, I remember opening one of the drawers in the kitchen, even though it wasn't a kitchen, it was just built-in shit into the room. And it was full. There must have been about at least 100 cockroaches in there. And I remember calling him straight away, and so I was like, Saul, there's cockroaches in this drawer all over the place. He said, oh, clean it up. That's what he was like. He was a multi-millionaire. He left his properties in the worst condition. Windows that didn't shut, holes in ceilings. And what was it all about? Just like my mother, he had this sick, perverse, twisted wish to put people who were already vulnerable, people who are already struggling with their mental health, in vulnerable positions, in positions of vulnerability. Put the vulnerable, put the easy targets in a position where they are vulnerable. That's what it was all about. It was all about putting people in positions that they were vulnerable. He also did he took me to, he said his friend is giving away a door, okay? His friend was giving away a door. So he takes me in the middle of the night to a house with a skip outside and a door on a skip, or just next to a skip. So, and then I was confused But in my naivety, I go to lift it with him. Guy opens the window. What the fuck are you doing? Get out of here. Go now, or I'm gonna call the police. And I was like, ran to the fucking car. I drove his car because he was insured to. He had the insurance where anyone could drive it. So I didn't. As far as I know, you never know with him. Maybe I could have been driving without any insurance for all I know. Don't trust him. But ran to the car. I'm like, Saul, get in the car. We gotta get out of here. And then on the way back, I'm like driving. I'm like, Saul, what the fuck was that? You told me it was your friend giving away a door. And then not only that, he said like, oh no, well, he called. But before the guy called, when a guy called out, I was like ready to like fucking Saul, let's fucking go, let's go. And he was talking to the guy and like saying, I thought you don't want it. You don't want it. That's how he spoke. You don't want it. And he's like, I do. But just because he doesn't want the door doesn't mean he's comfortable with two random strangers coming to his house in the middle of the night at like 1 in the fucking morning and picking up a door outside his house. So we're driving off and he gets better. I'm like, Saul, what the fuck was that? I thought that guy was really pissed off. He may even call the police on us. We got to get out of here. So we're driving away. And then he actually says to me, oh, no, go back and check what's going on. Go back and speak to him. And it's like, no, I'm not going back to speak to what, so we can get arrested. And I realized that I was like, okay, he's a fucking liar. He's a fucking liar. It wasn't his friend. He wasn't giving away a door. It was some random guy that he was so fucking greedy. He noticed something that was being thrown away. And because he's a hoarder, he doesn't throw anything away. Saul doesn't throw anything away. He was a greedy hoarder who kept everything and tried to take everything, even people. And he completely bullshitted me. And I was fucking petrified. This guy was fucking ready to come out and knock us out. Like I can fucking defend myself. Could even tell Saul to fuck off, let alone this guy. And he was fucking angry, and understandably, two random people have come to his house and fucking like one in the morning. It's like, at least go in the day and ring the bell and be like, hi, I've noticed you're throwing away a skip, throwing away a door. Do you mind if I take it? Or, some people have taken things out of my skip, like, but it's like, they do it in a way where they don't do it way, like, this wasn't even in the skip, this was on the floor, and we were lifting it up, and we were obviously, like, we were talking, like, oh, you lift that side, I lift that side. It's like, it freaks someone out in the middle of the fucking night, outside their house, taking something from outside their house, even if they are throwing it away. But the thing is, it wasn't in the skip, so probably was being disposed of, but still, it's on their property. You can't go to someone's property at like 1 in the morning, start making a fucking noise, trying to take your fucking door. So I realized this was his thing. He loved just to put people in vulnerable positions. He hypnotized a friend of mine. Well, he was a friend until Saul got involved. Bloody, hypnotized one of the people that I really liked. It's a really nice guy I was in a band with. Hypnotized him. He let out all his business under this hypnosis, completely humiliated himself. Everyone wondered what the fuck was going on, and then soon after that, he was put in a psychiatric ward. And understandably, after who was he to blame? I didn't know that would fucking happen. I didn't know that when Saul said to me, you can use this house. He had one empty house. You can use it for a party for friends. You can use it as a house party. So great. He wouldn't go. He stayed there the whole time. And I remember my friend texted me and says, if this guy doesn't leave, we're fucked. We were sitting next to him. It was too sad to say anything. Daniel said to me, if this guy doesn't leave, we're fucked. I can't remember what I said. I may have said the text about hopefully he'll be going and he never went. He stayed the entire duration. He did this 58-year-old something, or 50. I don't know how it was, late 50s, early 60s at the time, and he's this guy. This short little fat, 60 whatever year old, and it's 17-year-olds, pretty much all 17-year-olds in this house party. No music, no food, nothing. We just got this house, and then everyone gets there, and I think the girls that come, I think they fucked off already. It's what the fuck. So we're just left with us guys, maybe, and everyone, and he's trying to hypnotize everyone, and he does manage to hypnotize poor Gurr, and then another guy, I think, looked like he was pretending to be hypnotized. Good for him. Fooled him at his own game. He was running around going he says, can you hypnotize me that I'm a duck? And the guy started jumping around going, quack, quack, quack. Quack, 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 quack. And I was I didn't know what to make of it. We all thought it was real for a minute. I think after we realised it wasn't real. So this shit was happening, Yeah, if only someone called him out then I never would have had to stay in this fucking place. My mum would never been able to send him. He would have just been banged up. They would have had time to do more investigation. I mean, thank fucking God, when he applied for that planning permission, I think a nursery for 2 to 3-year-olds in his fucking house, in his big fucking mansion in Stamford Hill, he applied to convert one of the rooms, one of these big rooms, into a fucking nursery. Or was it 3 to 6, I can't fucking remember, 3 to 2 to 5, or something young, too fucking young, yeah, and that was still being considered at the time he died. I found this planning permission. I remember, I think I sent it to the police. I was like, thank fucking God. Even though I was a bit disappointed they didn't fucking people wouldn't talk in the community. They were ashamed. They wouldn't talk. You had people naked on video. People naked. Men naked. I don't know how old they were. But he would have tried it with anyone he could. He would have tried it with anyone he could. That was just the way he got away with it for so long. And what a sick fuck actually had video. And then they had to go through so many tapes. The police, the poor fuckers, had to watch this shit. I think the police knew. I mean, they just... the final time he tried to hypnotize me, I had cuts all over my face. And he still tried it. Wonder where he is now. Wonder if he got his karma. They say in Buddhism you're meant to send out goodwill to everyone. Yeah. No wonder why I don't like people outside my house. Because that fucker used to turn up uninvited all the fucking time. Stupid big red car. Just always there. I was like, oh, there again. Said to my grandma, what the fuck is he doing here again? Well, I didn't. I wish I said that. I was like, why is he here again? Mark, I want Saul here. I want him here. Never mind what I want. Naive. A naive family of predator enablers, you could say. But she's also just as fucking intrusive. Anyway, she would just fucking turn up. Like, our parents would finally fuck off on the holiday, and like we had the house to ourselves where they wouldn't be fucking harassing us. And fucking grandma would just come every day and do like washing up. And I'm like, Granny, what the you don't have to come here. And it's like, your mother's asked me, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure she would. God forbid. We should actually be free away from that bitch. God forbid. So she sent you there every day. Yeah. Great. Or like she wouldn't piss off when I like had a couple of friends over and like it was late and we were just downstairs and it was just like like, just, can you go upstairs, Granny? Like, can I just have some time with my friends? No, she wouldn't stay. And when I asked her, why would you not go? Why did you have to stay? This was her reason, I shit you not. You know, Neve, your friend Neve, he took a knife into the peanut butter, and he took a big scoop of the peanut butter and he got it around the side of the jar. So I had to wait downstairs until they left so I could clean the jar. Ah. Right. Yes. Okay. Of course. A bit of peanut butter around a jar, on a jar, harmless peanut butter on a jar was more important than me just being spend a little time with my friends without you there the whole time. No, it's fine. That was more important, Granny. The peanut butter on the jar was far more important. Oh, that was another thing. He got really angry. Saul got really angry. He had a fucking he had a fucking camera facing on a tripod facing the bed. Just facing the bed. I mean, most people think, okay, so he's got a camera ready. God knows what his fucking plan was. God fucking knows what his plan was. He must have set that up when he knew I was coming. Fucking hell. Camera facing the bed on a tripod. Fuck me. And I asked him, I said, so why is there a camera facing the bed? He got really defensive, like really, really defensive when I asked him. Yeah, it's cool, so it's no worries. It's of course people should just come to your house and you've got a camera on a tripod facing the bed, and why should they ask any questions? What could be suspicious about that? God knows what you had planned, fucking hell. Guess he got what he wanted. In his mind, he thought I was really under hypnosis. There was part of me who was like, let's try this. Let's see if this helps me. So I did masturbate. And he was screaming things out. Like, come. He was like, his breathing fucking out. He was like sweating. Oh my God, it was like, this is what this guy is. This guy is a fucking God knows what. It's like screaming and shouting and come, 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 come. And he's like, there's still more left in you. And it was like, strange enough, my mum was crying when I was telling the police this. She finally realised the type of guy that she had trusted me with for all those years. Tears are streaming down her face. So that's everything. Well, not everything, but it's a lot. I remember once when I was staying in one of his properties. And he was after I'd been arrested for breaking equipment supposedly belonging to my dad. Breaking an ex-girlfriend's mirror worth £30. Leaving aggressive voicemails. And I was desperate. I'd had enough of that fucker. I didn't want to live in his disgusting hovel of a shithole anymore. So I remember I took out a phone contract and I registered it to my parents' address. And I think they notified O2 that I wasn't living there. But I'd already taken it out, so I think I still had the phone. So I told Saul, I bought the iPhone 3GS. I told Saul, I said I've gone into minus 300 or something. I bought a phone, I've taken out a contract. And he's like, if you get, because he was worried people getting in debt in his property. Because if they get in debt in one of his properties, they can try and bailiffs can try and break in, try and claim whatever. He's then vulnerable. So I thought I got him this time. You go 500 and you'll have to go. So I I went purposely. I went further into debt, and then I let him know. And he's like, "That's it. You're out." Yes. And then before I left, I pissed on the floor of his flat, and he drove me around in the middle of the fucking night once again in typical Saul style. He drove me around, knocking on friends' doors, asked if I could stay there. And one of them was sleeping. I mean, it was late. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to have to disturb friends in the middle of the night. When someone's saying they're going to leave you on the street if you don't. But anywhere was better than being under his control. So I think he ended up staying with a random guy who I hadn't even known for long, Dimitri. Stayed in his house for a couple of days or something. It's funny how someone you don't even know for a long time and sometimes be more kind and helpful and compassionate than people that are supposedly your friend. Been there for years. There was a guy who I was friends with. And well, I don't know who I was friends with. I didn't trust anyone, but I was meant to meet them, Benji and Jamie, after school, and I used to go with the other guys. Guys who really used to take me as a joke. Felt caught in the middle. I didn't fit in with either group. The group that I was meant to meet said to me, "They're not your friends, they're not your friends." That night it felt like I had no friends. Eventually, found my way back to Grandma. She said, "I suppose you could stay here." Suppose you could stay here. So I stayed there, and I remember the first time I had a bath in her house. It was just the greatest feeling. It was like a feeling of getting into this hot bubble bath. It was like, I'm finally safe. Except it didn't last for long. Who knows what I was doing? I called up the police and I said, because my mum had basically got a restraining order, but it applied to the road that my parents lived on. And even though it didn't mention my grandma's address, my grandma lived on the same road. So it just so happened, if she had lived on a different road, even just the road nearby, it wouldn't have applied. But technically, it still applied because she just so happened to live right near. This wasn't just so happened. I mean, there was a reason why they lived right near, but that's another story. But